Hello, welcome to the Lake Fork Bass Fishing Report.com. Today we're here with Lake Fork Pro Chris Sinkey. Chris, what's going on in the lake today?
It's cold, it's muddy, and it's raining, as you can see. Well, it's mid-March, pre-spawn, normally spawn, just hadn't happened yet, real close, but the weather's been permitting. Lake conditions right now, very muddy, letting water out, very cold. Water temperatures have been averaging between 50. Today we did, the warmest water we found was 55, and we did catch fish. I'm going to go into a few techniques on how we caught these fish today. First of all, I'll start off northern creeks. Water seems to be a little bit warmer there. And I'll start off a quarter of the way into the creek and I'll start throwing a rattle trap. Since the weather's been kind of yucky, been kind of cold, overcast conditions have been kind of what I've been dealt with lately. I've been throwing chrome and blue predominantly. It seems to pick up more fish and get a little bit more strikes on cloudier days. What I'm doing with this bait, casting it out anywhere from 4 to 8 foot deep, slowly reeling it back, letting it tick the grass. Once it ticks the grass, sometimes I'm steadying my retrieve, sometimes I'm slowing it down, ripping it out of the grass. A lot of these fish are doing reaction strikes on these baits right now. Once I find these fish, I'll go back within a 10-yard, 50-yard, 25-yard stretch where I've located those fish, and I'll go to 1 or 2 rigs, usually with soft plastics. The first rig I'm going with, I'm rigging a 4-inch or 6-inch Grande Bass Trickster Worm wacky rig. Throw that bait out real slow, bring it back real slow, twitch, twitch, just let it kind of fall on the grass. A lot of these fish have been just picking this bait up and swimming off with it. Very aggressive bites, really no questions about if you have fish. On the cloudier days, what I'm mainly staying with are the darker colors. Black and blue laminate, black and blue flake, green pumpkin. Sunshinier days, watermelon chartreuse, watermelon red, watermelon candy. After that, if that rig's not really catching them, I'll go to just a standard Texas rig, weightless Grande Bass rattlesnake. Same color coordinations, dark colors on the cloudy days, watermelon reds or shades of watermelon on the sunshiny days. One of these 2 rigs will put fish in the box once you have them located with a moving bait. When I get to the back of the creeks, that's normally when I go start looking for big fish on the way out. What I'm doing, use my GPS, use my graph, I'll locate the creek channel, come out of the creek channel, flipping a 3/8 ounce Nichols jig with a Grande Bass machine trailer. This is a great big fish bait, and this is the best time of the year to catch a big fish on Lake Fork. What I'm doing is coming out of the creeks, putting my trolling motor almost as slow as I can handle it, and flipping every single piece of timber on both sides of the creek channel. Sometimes I'm letting this jig soak, sometimes fish will hit it on the drop. So, if you're really looking for a big fish bite right now, I definitely highly recommend this bait. You can either also use a Grande Bass machine Texas rig with a 1/4 ounce or even a 1/2 ounce weight. Doing the same thing, flipping against cover, docks, anything along the creek channel.
Hey Chris, I'm flipping these for a giant fish on Lake Fork with the jig or the machine Texas rig. What size line would you say I would use?
On the jigs, I'm using anywhere from 20 to 25 pound cigar fluorocarbon line. Seems to be very sturdy, very strong, can get the fish out. A lot of guys prefer braid. Braid's also good. I seem to go with the fluorocarbon. I think it's a little bit less visible. I think it attracts a little bit more bites. Definitely want a high pound test line for this. 20 to 25, I'd say minimum on that. Because normally when you flip this jig, you're flipping in some heavy cover and you're catching some big fish. So you want to make sure you can winch those fish out of there. Right now is share-longer time. Right now is the best time of the year to catch a big fish, and you want to make sure you land that fish.
That's right, Chris.
Well, hopefully the water will clear up here with the weather we have coming, but right now with the conditions of the lake, with it being murky, you do have to slow down a little bit. You do have to really kind of pick apart the areas, but you want to make sure you're fishing the areas where there's fish, where you've located those fish. Once you do that, sometimes if I catch 1 fish, I might go back and forth through that area once or twice and still pick up 1 or 2 fish every time I go through there.
It only takes 1 cast to catch a 10-pound plus fish,
that's all it takes.
Great. Well, hey, Chris, thanks for giving us these tips.
Thank you, Lance.
And until next week, good fishing.